I want to talk about the saying, I'm bad with money, and how it's something that people will say kind of randomly off the cuff, and how I truly believe it has more deeper and broader implications on your life than you actually think. I do think it is that deep, and this is a belief that I have cultivated over the last 10 plus years. This actually goes back to when I used to work in customer service at a bank. So I worked there for a little bit over a year, I believe. This is something that I would hear a lot. I'd often hear people say, oh, I'm just bad with money. I'm bad with money. And then I noticed throughout my life that this is something really common that specific people would say to me, whether they were friends, family members, colleagues. I especially heard that a lot at work. I believe that it's important to reframe and really understand what people mean when they say, I'm bad with money, because in real terms, that could mean so many things, right? It could mean problems with budgeting. It could mean issues with debt repayment. It could mean not knowing how to invest. It could mean not understanding the stock market. It could mean not understanding where to start about purchasing a property, etc., etc. But I've noticed that people who use this sentence, I'm bad with money, this what I will put forth as a self-fulfilling prophecy, they usually mean one thing, and that is, I am living beyond my means / I'm unable to manage a day-to-day budget. People who are able to save, who are able to manage their day-to-day budget, if they're bad at investing, bad again in quotation marks, or if they don't understand the stock market, they don't understand how to purchase property, they will just say, oh, I don't understand how that works, or like the stock market is really complicated for me, or I find these things complicated, but they will not tell you that they are bad with money, even though this could be a part of that, because being bad with money could mean a million things. The reason why for me, again, I think this is so problematic is the fact that it impacts so many areas of your life, and that by putting forth the thought and the idea that I'm bad with money means you've just decided that you're bad with money and you're not going to do anything about fixing that, when it's a problem that is entirely solvable. And I would even add, it's pretty simply solvable. Now, much like dieting, much like many other things, it's maybe not easy, but it's quite simple. I think that it's important to keep in mind the impacts that this will have on your life in general, because of course finances impact your entire life, but also subscribing to the idea that you're bad with money also has these repercussions on your life. And unfortunately, through speaking with a lot of these clients at the bank and also helping a lot of people around me with their day-to-day finances, I found that it trickles down to so many areas of your life. So it starts with, I'm bad with money, meaning I am unable to manage my day-to-day finances, which then trickles down into a cycle of shame that then also means these people in general are uncomfortable just even talking about money, which then means that they carry shame about their financial situation. Since they want to put forth that they're just bad with money, they're not going to be comfortable talking about it, which then, of course, perpetuates this whole system. And then that comes into their personal life. So they're not comfortable talking about money with friends, partners, future partners. And when it comes to work, they're uncomfortable asking for raises, negotiating salaries. And then it just perpetuates this vicious cycle of, I'm bad with money, meaning I can't manage my day-to-day finances, now equals that I have shame around money, I'm uncomfortable talking about money, I'm uncomfortable negotiating my salary, which then has a lot of negative effects that trickles down into your life. I think at the end of the day, the main reframe and mindset shift that I wish you would do if you're someone who says that you're bad with money is maybe rather than just saying, I am bad with money, think about it in a way of, I just haven't learned about money yet. And just saying it that way and thinking about it this way, investing in your personal financial literacy will have a humongous return on investment on your personal life. Every bad habit that you break will help you in the long run. Every small good decision or small step that you make is going to pay you dividends in the future. And whether you want to or not, and whether you think you're bad with money or not, money is going to be something really important in your personal life, your personal finances. And as I said, will impact the rest of your life, whether it's your career, your romantic relationships, your platonic relationships, and even your relationship with yourself. And starting with reframing this I'm bad with money with I'm going to learn about money, and putting in just a little bit of effort to be able to get there. Now, if I was someone who identified as being bad with money, the first thing I would do is I would just start tracking my spending. You don't need to change the way you spend just yet, although tracking your spending will naturally lead to that, because it will showcase things that you were unaware of. It will put light to certain areas of your financial life that maybe you don't like or that you like, and maybe you will end up spending more in certain areas and less in other areas. But if it's something that you want to start doing, I recommend downloading an app where you can do it. As I said, a lot of people have free budgeting sheets online that you can use. And the one thing I've noticed with, again, helping people around me with their own finances and through working at the bank as well, is that I've never met a single person who regretted tracking their spending for at least a small period of time. Never met a single person like that. Most people will either really appreciate doing it and will keep doing it in some sense. Maybe it's more flexible budgeting than anything else, but doing it at least for a few months is going to be extremely helpful. I highly recommend it, but it's just a thought that I have had in my mind for so long and I wanted to put out there. I hope that if you're someone who says you're bad with money, I hope you will reframe that thinking, and I will catch you in the next video.